when it comes to the idea of a love marriage, right? And essentially it's infatuation, as we said. SubhanAllah, you see all of the pleasant things that the other person is putting up as a front, right? You see their best face, and you have no idea what's under that wrapper, right? It's almost like looking at a piece of chocolate that's wrapped up with a nice wrapper, not knowing what the ingredients are, not knowing where it came from, not knowing anything about it, and saying, I want that one. Just because of the wrapper, right? And then subhanAllah, the first night, after the first night that you get married, and after all that stuff has happened, you've already experienced the positive aspects, you've already experienced the joy of love and the joy of going out together and the joy of this first time and that first time, the first time we held hands, the first time we shared a smoothie, the first time we went to the movies together, the first time this, the first time that. And then marriage comes, and all marriage is a bundle of responsibility. And you are going to regret that marriage for the rest of your life. You're going to hate yourself. SubhanAllah. What happened? That front is not there anymore. You're seeing the person for who they are. All the makeup is gone. Right? Makeup's not there anymore. Now you've got white cream everywhere. Right? And Winnie the Pooh, PJs and stuff like that. Like now you've got, what happened? Where did it all go? That's not what I signed up for. It was all the fronts. It was all the fronts. Right? And infatuation is the key. SubhanAllah. What does Islam give us in return? Because subhanAllah, had Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala demanded us to be monks, right? To live celibate lifestyles, it would be very tough for us. Everything that Allah gives us, everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided in this life that offers joy through a haram avenue, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided a halal alternative. There is nothing in this life except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us a halal alternative, and that's purely from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I did a minor in biblical studies. Do you know in old Christian theology, getting married is frowned upon? This is disgusting, right? Celibacy is the only way. If a person gets married, that person is someone who's doing something detested, repulsive. How dare they, right? SubhanAllah. I mean, in other theologies, obviously the only way to really achieve spiritual illumination is to go to the extreme of being celibate, living that life, right, as a monk. In our deen, we seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through marriage, which gives us joy anyway. SubhanAllah, marriage is half of your deen. That's a rahmah. That's a rahmah. That half of your deen is something that's as tangible as marriage, as making that work, as seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through another human being, through showing mercy to another human being, right? Through restricting your ego with another human being. And here's what happens whenever we get into the whole love marriages and the infatuation. I did a little bit of research myself. The whole first love thing? I'm not even going to talk about something as extreme as losing your virginity. Talking about the concept of your first love. There is a Pittsburgh Sociological Journal, and what the statistic that they have, do you know how many people actually end up marrying their first love? You know how many people actually end up marrying their first love? Anyone want to give me a percentage?
1%.
0.85%. That means if you meet 100 people, 99 of them ended up marrying someone, or if they even got married, right? 100 married people, 99 of them married someone that they did not think they were going to be with. 99 of them fell for it. And you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us something that's hard? Ask the people that have been through relationships. That's a hell. That's Jahim al-Ruh. To invest yourself emotionally into something that's not even going to give you anything at the end of the day. To tell someone your secrets, to trust somebody, and the extent of the trust, Allah Ta'ala alam, how far it goes sometimes, right? You trust them with your secrets, you trust them, you say, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. You trust them with parts of your body, right? I've had many times, subhanAllah, in my 6 years as being imam, I retired, alhamdulillah, I hung my thawb up in the masjid. This is all you now. Now, subhanAllah. So I had so many situations, religious MSA kids that were like all into it, right? And the sister who wears hijab and jilbab says, well, we Skype and I decided I can take off my hijab in front of him on Skype, I just take off my hijab. Because I know I'm going to marry him. I know I'm going to marry him. It never happens. Never happens. Why? Because there's no barakah in it from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It always falls apart. It always falls apart. That's a hell. That's punishment in this world. To go through relationship after relationship after relationship, and every time you get in a relationship, you know what? A piece of you dies. Capacity to love dies. Capacity to trust, a piece of that goes away. Right? Your emotion, all of it, it gets lower and lower and lower and lower. Your expectations, they only rise. Because you're seeing more and more and more flaws. Right? SubhanAllah, you know, when you talk about how detrimental pornography has been on society, why has pornography been so detrimental to society? Why has all this whole, you know, this image that's being shoved down our throats, why is it so detrimental? Because it's not real. It's not reality. And the fact of the matter is whenever you find out that reality is a lot harsher than what it's been made out to be, then it's hell, it's punishment, it's jahim al-ghurur. Consistently going relationship after relationship after relationship, trying to make it work, trying to find a way to make this halal, trying to find a way to get my parents to agree with this, and then that doesn't happen. SubhanAllah. And let me tell you why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stops. And you know, you want to talk about practicality. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, get married for you can get married for 4 reasons. You get married for a person's wealth, for their status, for their beauty, or for their deen. فَاظْفِرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ تَرِبَتْ يَدَاكَ. Choose deen, or else, may your hands be covered in dust. Meaning, it's permissible. Look, you can get married to a person because you like the way they look. It's halal, but it's not smart. It's not smart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you that options from the mu'amalat. From a fiqhi perspective, as long as you fulfill the requirements of marriage from both sides, if you decided to pursue a person for their beauty, it's halal. It's just not wise. It's not smart. Because that's not something that's going to last. The looks will go, and then you'll have to deal with the other stuff. And the other stuff might not be so pleasant. And what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting us from is having our rationale slanted, our thinking slanted. No one of you can tell me that dating does not make them biased and does not make them make an uninformed decision. Marriage is a lifetime commitment. This is the person that's going to be the other parent of your children. This is the person that's going to come. This is the person you're going to confide in. This is the person when you go through financial difficulty. The economy is only getting worse. And trust me, you will go through financial difficulty at least once in your life. You will, right? This is the person that you're going to have to lean on for support. This is the person you're going to have to lean on whenever you get betrayed on the outside. And if you're not making a rational, an informed decision whenever you get married, then you're just like that person who's basically willing to eat a piece of chocolate just because they like the way the wrapper looks. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to make the best decision. Why? And let me tell you what. A lot of times we go into a relationship with the whole halal cover because shaitan deceives us. Shaitan makes things seem halal. Right? At least we're not doing this. At least we're not doing that. But we're going to get married. But we only talk about deen, here and there. SubhanAllah, shaitan deceives us and he deludes us. But let me tell you what happens, right? Here's what I've dealt with a million times, and I'm sure Imam Yasin will say the same thing. Whenever you say, but I like her for her religion too. She's a religious person. Or he's a good brother, right? It's not just that. But why do you think he's religious, right? Why do you think she's religious? What caused you to have a biased view at this point? Let me tell you something. If you already want to marry someone for other reasons, you will make that person out to be religious, and even if they're not religious. MashaAllah, she's so good. Why is she so good? She listens to Surah Al-Rahman every night. MashaAllah. You ignore all the other stuff. MashaAllah. He's such a good brother. He's so religious. Why is he so religious? MashaAllah, he prays 5 times a day. Sahabi. You'll make him out to be whatever you want him to be because you already want him. Your decision making has been slanted and you're about to make the most important decision of your life and it's biased and it's crooked. Why? Because you allowed your infatuation to cloud your rationale, your judgments. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want us to do that.